You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
What's up, everybody? How y'all doing? It is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Thanks for making it to the lounge, everybody. Let me start off by saying thank y'all for all the positive energy in the comment section from the videos that I have been uploading lately. So I appreciate each and every one of y'all. Also, please make sure y'all hit the like button. If you haven't already, please subscribe and join the family. It is free. We have a good time here at the lounge. I promise you it's not going to cost you anything. However, if you do want to tithe into the congregation, you are welcome to pay $3 a month. If you want to help me to be able to get better equipment, upgrade and elevate in my content game, you are more than welcome to donate $3 every month. Or you can just do a one-time donation of $5, $10. It does not matter. Whatever the Lord puts it on your heart to do. Or if you just want to be here just to support and show love, I am very grateful for that as well. So y'all, let's get into it. If y'all hear some noise in the background, just disregard. My yard man is here. He's cutting my grass in the back or whatever. So we're just going to have to get it on and popping, y'all. But ladies, this is very imperative that we talk about this because the pick-me population has grown at an all-time high, okay? The thirst is real, and it's a lot of women out here that are very much content being a side piece special, and we have to start really educating a lot of these, women and making them understand the severity and the detriment of the decisions that they are making for their lives anytime they decide to get involved with these married men. Nevertheless, let's face it, you have a lot of women out here who easily fall prey to the married man due to the fact that there's more single women than there are single men. Okay? So for every one man, he has at least, outside of his marriage, he has at least 5 to 10 options in which he can choose from. And because of that, a lot of these men are pretty much taking advantage. And what's going on is you having a lot of women who have gotten to a desperate place in life in which they feel like a piece of man is better than no man at all. And because of that stinking thinking, this is the reason why so many married men are baiting these Jezebels, and it's become a catastrophe. It has ruined so many households. So many families have been damaged by the actions of these married men, and righteously so. As much as I want to go in just on the side chicks, but the truth of the matter is these married men are the ones that are making a choice. As much as we can't stand Ariane, it was Martell who made that choice. Ariane would have never got involved in the picture had Martell never stepped outside of his marriage. Nevertheless, he involved her. He brought her in. And the sad part is you got a lot of these women that get beside themselves, because they let these men, these married men, get into their heads, and these house bandit. And what I mean by house, supposed to be holding down the house, but out here in the streets. So you have a lot of these house bands instead of husbands. There are a lot of these husbands that, still in the streets, passing out community dick, like communion at the Baptist church. And, the truth is they got a lot of these, residue chicks that really think that they are in the winning. And what I mean by residue chicks is they get what's left after the wife, you know. Family already had the best of everything. So basically, they got to get what's left over. Pretty much like what Ariana Air Mattress is doing. She's getting what's left over, whatever Martell has, which is not much. And you take a chance when you pick up a leased man. What's a leased man? A leased man, he belongs to another woman. And you know, you just making a monthly payments. You get what I'm saying? Like, you're the one that's having to hit him off and do all these sexual favors for him. You the one that's got to fill in the gaps. You know, basically you leasing, you renting somebody else's problem. Who's ultimately, if he loses his wife, he's going to end up becoming your problem. That's what's going on with Air Mattress. She did not get Mel's husband. She got Mel's problem. And in many instances, a lot of these side chicks, these Jezebels, they think they're winning somebody's man, but you're actually taking that woman's problem. The fact that he's willing to disrespect his wife to be with you, and you see absolutely nothing wrong with that. There's a mental malfunction. There's some type of there's a mental illness, you know, to think that a man who's willing to step outside his marriage to be with you, and for some strange reason you feel like he sees you as a prize. There's something mentally challenging going on, right? So let's get into this, y'all. Let's talk about the lies married men will tell to manipulate desperate women. These birds, you know, home wreckers, jump offs, you know what I mean? Pick me patties, clean up woman, the bench warmer, never starting lineup, just always waiting for her turn. Ariana's still a bench warmer to this day, okay? Because she got Martell, but she's still waiting her turn. Waiting her turn to actually be his wife. But let's first start with some of the objectives, right? As to why I feel this is necessary, that we educate the bench warmers on the manipulation of these married men. We need to make them understand that the excitement of being chosen by a married man is not a blessing, it's actually a curse. Anytime somebody else's husband is checking for you, there is something not right within your spirit for them to even feel comfortable coming to you and approaching you. A married man who knows he's in the space of a woman, who has integrity, who has self-respect, who has standards, he's not going to feel that comfortable. And let's say if he does approach a woman who has standards, he knows he's not going to get very far, and that conversation is cut very quick. There's no sneaky link ups. There's no, can we get some drinks afterwards? One thing about married men, he's going to always size you up. You know, whether if you saved, sanctified, and filled the Holy Ghost, Satan will still send a lustful man to you. So it happens, but if it's happened too frequently, then there's something in your spirit that is making these married men be drawn to you. And that's something that you got to check. And you have to put in the work and find out what is it about you. What is it that you're carrying? What signals are you setting off? Are you activating to make these incubus, which is the demonic male? What is it about these demonic men that are married that are lusting for you? You know what I mean? You have to really do some spiritual searching on that. So just the fact that a married man wants you, that's already not a good sign. When a married man desires you, and it's not so much because it says something bad about you, it just means that sometimes as women, we carry ourselves in a way in which men get the wrong message, you know, according to how we dress, according to the type of environments in which we are present. You know, you go to these bars and you're at this bar by yourself, and you know, you're giving off this vibe that you're on a prowl and you're looking for someone. Just where you are, the places where you where there's a certain crowd, you know, like I said, how you dress, how you conversate with these type of men, with married men. All of these are issues that can cause these men to be drawn to you, just for the fact that you are lacking discernment in the places you hang out at, the kind of conversations you have, the way you dress, just things of that nature, right? So let's not get excited by being chosen by somebody else's husband, because that's not considered a blessing. In fact, it's the complete opposite. It's a curse. Um, we're going to break down the most common lines married men use and decode what they really mean, because I really want a lot of the sisters out here to not put themselves in a situation in which they make themselves easily accessible to the loner. Because anytime you get involved with a married man, you're basically getting involved with a loner. They're not yours to keep. They're just something to borrow from their wives for, a couple of hours, a few days out the week. Not something that you'll never feel proud of to say you can call your own, but basically you're just renting, you're just borrowing, right? So we're going to be talking about, we're going to break down the lies that married men tell and what they really mean. Also, we're going to highlight the real consequences, the emotional toll, wasted years, damage to self-worth, and public humiliation. We're going to be speaking on that. And we've heard this 1,000 times, but I don't think a lot of women get it. Keep in mind that when he betrays his wife, he'll betray you too. A man that's not going to be loyal to the woman whom he pronounces vows in front of, of God. The fact that he recited these vows for better or for worse under a spiritual covenant, and he's violating his marriage with you. If that's not a major red flag, I definitely don't know what is. And that's something a lot of women need to think about. There's no way you can be comfortable being with the man who disrespects his wife, and for whatever strange reason, you think somehow in the end, because you were a willing participant in a marital division, that somehow, some way, God is going to elevate you and bless you. It's bananas to me, the logics behind women who really think in this manner, right? And lastly, I just want women to protect their peace, protect their time, and protect their future. We have to choose better. I don't care how attractive a married man is. It's too much that comes along with it that you don't deserve to take yourself through. I don't think no woman should settle with being in second place. I don't think she should settle with being a plan B. I don't think a woman should put herself in a position of where she makes that man her spare tire when he's miserable, when he's going through in life, when he has his moments where he wants to be a neglectful husband, he just wants to do him. I don't think you should make yourself available to make yourself available to filling in the gaps in which he's selfish and does not mind using you as a fill in the gaps person in an event he needs sexual needs fulfilled, in an event he needs somebody else to push around a rag because his wife is not going to tolerate it. I don't think any woman should put herself in that position. But let's get right into it, right? We know there's several men, and I'm just using married men from celebrities that we know. Using celebrities because I just feel if I speak in terms of people we're kind of familiar with, we don't lose the message. Martell Holt and Ariana Curry, known as the Crash Dummies. Long-term side chick story, years invested, but no marriage. They don't own anything. They have an accumulated thing, but public embarrassment. And yet she's still holding on to him, and he's still holding on to his ex-wife. We have Kevin Hunter, who also left his wife, who made him, his ex-wife, Wendy Williams, who made him a part of her brand. This man was not working. He was not putting in any footwork. He benefited just off of the name of being Wendy Williams' husband. And when he wanted out of that marriage, he had no regards for the mental and emotional toll it took on Wendy. And he moved on with a younger woman. And not only moved on with the younger woman, he also had a child from her. Knowing Wendy Williams always wanted to have more children. She struggled with fertility issues just to have the one son they have. So not only that, we've witnessed Kevin Hunter, like Martell, literally take this woman back to court multiple times, fighting, trying to get access to her money, fighting, trying to come up with any and everything he can to avoid not working. So Wendy Williams could continue to sponsor him and his side chick, right? Please make sure y'all hit the like button. I appreciate y'all. So it's the audacity for me. And we've seen Tristan Thompson and Khloe Kardashian, pattern of infidelity, constant public humiliation, shows how side relationships rarely lead to security. So let's decode the lies, okay? The lies. What do these married men be saying, and what the hell they really mean behind it? Lie number one: I'm not happy at home. How often we hear that? I mean, we've been together for a very long time, and she's a good woman, but I'm just not happy at home. I don't feel the love. I'm not in love. I care about her, but I'm not in love with her. What he is really saying, he may be unhappy, but he's not leaving. He's unhappy, but not unhappy enough to leave. You're just his escape from reality. Let's face it. You got a lot of these men out here, they are cowards. They don't have the balls to walk away in many instances from marriages that are not serving them according to how they feel. For one, they don't like the ramifications. They don't want to have to pay alimony. They don't want to have to pay child support. Not only that, a lot of them will state that they're unhappy when they really are not. That is what they will tell the bench warmer to make her feel comfortable and make her think she stands a chance. As long as he's saying he's unhappy, in your mind, you think you already have an advantage. When in many instances, the same man these married men that are sitting up here telling you they're unhappy, they don't feel like there's any love in a marriage. These same men will go right back home and make love to their wives the same night. Okay, take their wife out to dinner the same night. They are planning cruises and trips with these wives who they claim that they are so unhappy with. Because think about it, even Melody said it. That's how come she really couldn't pinpoint that Martell was really cheating. She had an idea, but she couldn't pinpoint it because Martell was still coming home playing the role of being a husband who desired his wife. They were still being intimate. They were still going out to dinner. They were still doing things that husband and wives do. But yet, he's in Angry Bird's ear, on air mattress, lying like a prostitute on her back in the alley and stating that, I'm unhappy. I'm just being a bigger person until I make a decision, till I figure things out. These married men will lie. I've heard married men go so far as to saying, me and her don't even sleep together no more. We sleep in separate rooms. And they be flat lying. They tell the side chick this because it makes the side chick, it makes the bench warmer, it makes her feel comfortable because she feels like, well, hell, if she's not giving it up and I'm giving it up, they're not sleeping together, well, that means I'm closer to winning the prize. They will tell you what their wife ain't doing for you to do it. And it's not so because she's not doing it. They want you to believe she ain't so that you will. It's reverse psychology. It's manipulation at its finest. It's no different if a woman says, my husband, he don't even pay any of my bills. He don't take care of me. He don't provide for me. Well, if there's a man who's feeling you like that and you want to capitalize and take advantage of the situation, of course you're going to tell him that. Even though your husband pays the bills, he provides, but you're going to tell him that just so you can get more money out of him, just so you can still use and obtain whatever you can for your own personal agenda, for your own selfish reasons. Most men who cheat, what they say is the opposite. If they say, I'm not happy, but they have not left yet, they really are happy. If they say, my wife is not sexually pleasing me until he leaves her, that's not the case. He is not being sexually deprived. And if you think about it, it's common sense. What married man is in his right mind is going to tell his bench warmer, oh yeah, me and my wife, we do still be making love now. I'm not gonna lie. After I done smashed you and I pulled out from you, hey, I go right on home to the missus and I slam dunk her too. There not too many of them are gonna say that. They're not gonna tell their side chick, I'm still banging my wife and I'm smashing you at the same time. So you cannot fall for the I'm not happy at home. When a man is really unhappy, he's gonna leave that home. That makes him unhappy. Okay. Second lie that men tell. My wife and I don't sleep together anymore. Now I just said this, but I'm going to still elaborate on it a little bit more. This line is designed to make you feel like you're not the other woman, but chances are they still share intimacy and family life. First of all, most married men, especially ones that are still heavily invested in their lust, they know how to wear two hats. They know how to go home and perform, meaning perform being a dad, still taking time with their kids, and then on top of that, they still know how to be intimate with their wives. They still bring home flowers, they still bring home candy, they still take the wives out to dinner. In other words, they know how to have their cake and eat it too, basically. They can sleep with the wife at home and then still sleep with the Jezebel, the bench warmer. Because again, this is his way of having his cake and eat it too. He's getting the best of both worlds. He wants the side chick to believe that he's not sexually intimate with his wife at all. And again, he tells her that so she can continue to be the one that's constantly putting herself out there. It's to give her false hope, give her a false sense of encouragement and thinking that sooner than later he's going to make that move, because he's telling you all these things he's not getting. He's telling you he's not sleeping with his wife. He's telling you he's unhappy. He's telling you all of these things so you can continue to feel comfortable and let your guard down and give in to those extra desires that he's not necessarily being deprived of. It's not that he's not getting it at home. He just wants more. He wants more of whatever that demonic flesh is that he can't quench. Okay? Doesn't mean he's not getting it from home. It just means that he's greedy and he still wants more outside of his home. Next lie that married men will say, I'm going to leave her soon. The reality is, if he was going to be, he would have already. This is a stalling tactic to keep you around. Listen. If Martell could have still manipulated Mel, Ariane wouldn't have got him. She would have not got him. The truth is, Martell did not leave Ariane. Did not leave Melody. Melody left him. You got to pay attention to stuff like that. If a woman leaves her husband versus she leaving versus the husband leaving the wife, chances are you're at a default. If he decides to be with you after the wife left, he put you on the back burner. Because you got to always think to yourself, what if that wife never left? Would this nigga be checking for me? Like, would I even be with him right now? Ariane ain't thinking about none of that. She's so glad that she has him. She's not even thinking about, like, you got him by default. You're not in the running. It's not like he made the decision at his own merit. Hold on, y'all, my thing acting up. Okay, y'all. Yeah, something was going on my end. But anyway, you never want to get somebody's husband at default. Okay? Only because that did not work out. Now he's making the decision to come to you. That is one of the most disrespectful manners in which a woman can can still stand by a man who only chose her because there was no other options for him. And the main option he had walked out on him. Now I want to be with you. Now I'm ready to come to you. Any woman that will allow a man to come back to her as a second option. Why is that? I'm sorry about that noise, y'all. To come back as a second option, you're doing yourself a disservice. You only got him by default. Not because he chose you. He basically selected you out of desperation. The plan he wanted failed. So, as the saying goes, right? If you can't be with the one you love, you got to just learn to love the one you with. That's basically what it is, right? Now, let's talk about the next slide. You're different. You understand me. He's running game. What he really means is you're willing to give him what the wife is smart enough to withhold. It's straight game. Oh, I love that you support me, and when I'm broken down and out, you lend me money. You co-sign on loans for me. I can't get my wife to do none of that. And you're giddy up because you think you're winning because you're doing all of the things that his wife won't do. But keep in mind that his wife restricts him for a reason. When you've been in a marriage for a long time, sometimes you have to a degree, you have to, especially men like Martell, you got to treat them like a child to a certain degree. You can't let them have access to everything, especially when you know their inner demons. It's kind of like if you're with a man, let's just say you're married to a man who has a gambling addiction. And as soon as he gets money in his hands, he's going to gamble it. Well, the side chick doesn't know this. So when he tells the bench warmer or, his residue chick, my wife, she don't look out for me. She don't care about me. She don't even, she won't even put her name on a loan for me. She doesn't trust me. That's all game to make the bench warmer say, you know what, since the wife won't do it, I'm going to do it. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to sexually do everything that he says his wife is not doing. I am going to put my names on loans. I am going to aid him in some type of scam, anything to help him get to where he wants to be so he can see I'm that chick for him. And you have some, bench warmers that will put their name on the line. They will take a lot of chances for these married men because they really don't know the married man that they're dealing with. The wife, on the other hand, she does. If the wife is not trusting him, it's because he's done something. He's not going to say that. He's going to make it seem like the wife is just being complicated and difficult, and she's just like not being supportive when in actuality, she did everything that the side chick probably did in the initial beginning. Did everything to help him because she was so in love with him. Signed her name on all kind of loans. Took a lot of chances for him because that was her husband. Only to find out the man has no discipline, has bad money management. So as a wife, sometimes even with your husband, you have to make a decision like, I can't give him a lot of money. I can't do a lot of things for him. I can't do this. I can't do that, whatever the case may be, right? So that's the reason why. But the bench warmer, she's not looking at it that way. She thinks that his wife is not being a good wife. His wife is not looking out for him. His wife is not pleasing him. So in her mind, she feels like, I'm going to have to step up and please him and do everything that his wife will not do. And it's all game. And then by the time you realize that it's all game, you've already invested too much that you're not going to get back. Now, here's another famous lie that many married men would tell, and I know all of us have heard this. If y'all haven't already, please make sure you hit the like button. I'm already sure at this point without even looking. My likes up are not matching with my views. Please do your girl a favor and hit that like button. I really would appreciate if you just take the time to do that. It won't cost you a penny. Now, thank you. Let's get to this. I know we've all heard this. We're only together for the kids. A lot of these married men will use their kids as an excuse as to why they won't leave their marriage. When you got some men all day who's not with their kids and paying child support or whatever. So a man staying in an unhealthy or miserable marriage for the sake of his kids, that's a lie. Okay? He's staying because, for one, he's probably too selfish to leave because he don't want to pay child support, or really he's just lying. In fact, he loves the fact that he's with his family, that he has his wife and his kids under the same roof. But he will lie to the home record, to his sneaky link. He will not lie to his sneaky link and tell her, we're only together for the kids. Because most women, we empathize as mothers about our children. So anytime a man pretends like he has his children's best interest, we tend to sympathize with that. If a man tells you, I want to leave my wife, but I want to raise my kids. I want to make sure they're good. I want to make sure that I still play my role as a father. Some side chicks will empathize with that and will understand that and say, okay, well, I know you got to try to work out that situation first before you make a decision. I mean, common sense. If none of those kids are even 18 years old yet, and he's saying he's staying for the sake of his kids, are you going to be on standby for 18-something years? You know, or even if they're adults, even more so, if his kids are adults, he can't even use when I'm saying for the sake of my kids, you know, as an excuse, because all his kids are grown and they have children of their own. So don't fall for the we're only together for the kids. If he really want out that marriage, he'll pay his alimony, pay his child support, still be there for his kids, but he'll move on. Okay? The next lie married men would tell, I don't want to hurt her. I'm trying to do it the right way. What it means is, I want both of you without the responsibility of choosing. Okay? If he's still showing empathy for his wife, still having some kind of compassion, well, she's a good woman. You know, he'll say things like, well, she's a good woman. You know, she's the mother of my kids. If he's still showing her some kind of respect or acknowledgement, you might want to be mindful of that. Because that's basically telling you about so many ways, I'm feeling you and I love my wife, but I'm not about to make a decision and just let go one for the other, because I'm getting the best of both worlds. I'm happy here. You know, with the other side chick, he doesn't have any responsibilities. But he knows if he leaves the wife, in actuality, his responsibilities are going to triple or they are going to double. So that's his way of kind of trying to play the lane. He's trying to level the playing field. Okay. Let me ask you ladies this, you know. If a man can lie so easily to his wife, do you think there's any possibility he'll tell the side chick the truth? 1 for yes, 2 for no. Okay. Also, why would you settle for being a secret when you deserve to be the priority? I can never understand how a woman who has real integrity and class, she's comfortable with this man only coming to her apartment 1 in the morning. Or the only time y'all can go out of town together, you got to sneak and meet up with him. You can't just freely plan a trip and go somewhere as a couple and enjoy yourself and have a good time, not worried about, is this the day he's going to get caught? Will he run into somebody who knows him? I mean, being a side chick is a lot of work. Because you feel like you constantly got to prove yourself, right? You got to keep yourself up. That's expensive. Unless he's sponsoring your lifestyle. You want to always look good, because again, it's that trying to outshine and stunt and look better than the wife. So you got to constantly buy outfits, nails done, keep your hair and makeup up, keep up with them Brazilian waxes, anything that, turns your Mr. Lender on. Okay, because you're involved with Mr. Lender, you're involved with somebody's husband. So these are things that you have to think about. What years of your life are you willing to lose waiting on him? So far, Arion is what, 10? How many years are you going to be on standby? Waiting on him to make a decision, a choice. Okay? So a few more other things. I got a few more lies that they tell. Okay? We're basically separated already. When he says that, he's basically separated, but he's basically still married. This is just his way of downplaying the commitment that still exists. Saying we're separated, that's to make the side chick feel comfortable and say, okay, he's planning on making an exit. When in actuality, you got some men who can be separated for years and still never take it to the next level. Because in their mind, as long as they got the side chick believing they're separated, she feels like sooner or later he's going to leave. And that would always be his scapegoat. Well, we separated. Yeah, y'all separated, but when are y'all going to divorce? And you got some men that's so selfish, they'll do that. They won't even sign divorce papers, right? Please make sure y'all hit that like button if you're coming in. They won't even file support papers. They'll go as long as the wife will allow it. If the wife never files for divorce papers, they'll stay separated for 15, 30-something years. And you know what happens? God forbid he passes away. Because he's still technically married. It's the wife who he dragged and took through so much that ends up with everything. And it's the special friend, that's the name they call a side chick in the obituary. I think it was Linda Gamble who said that. Yeah, you're gonna become that special friend. If that, you might not even be invited to the funeral. That's what that is. When he's saying he's separated, he's making sure that door is still open. Next lie married men tell, she knows about you. She doesn't care. If she truly didn't care, he wouldn't need to keep sneaking around. He's trying to make you feel legitimate without you ever being legitimate. Well, yeah, she knows what I do. She know I care for you. She know I'm not going to start getting involved with you. All that, again, that's game. If he has to keep hiding you, he's contradicting himself. If she don't care, why we got to go sneak out of town? Why we got to go to restaurants and diners that's way in some wooded area somewhere? It's because he knows that, for one, she don't know, and she really would care if she did know. The next line married man would tell, once the kids are grown, I'll leave. That could be years, even decades. He's asking you to waste your best years while he still enjoys family life. Telling you, these married men are a hot-ass mess. They can wear two hats. They will go around you as a side chick and act like they're so depressed and they hate being home and they're so glad to be around you within them 5 minutes or 2 hours to 5 minutes or whatever. And they will lie. They go right home to the wives, sit down, have a glass of wine with them. They will merge. They will, what's the word? They will integrate right back into their home life like you don't even exist. Once the married man has left your Section A apartment or from smashing you at Motel 6, soon as he pulls up in the driveway of his home, he goes right back into that married man mode, to that father mode. Putting the kids to bed, make sure they have their bath, sitting down watching a movie with his wife. They will go right into that husband mode. They're just that manipulative and vindictive. They can wear two hats at the same time. So while he's lying to you, and you got this vision in your mind, he's sitting at home crying, depressed, standing in the corner like a kindergartner who's on timeout. You think that man is really miserable like he says, you are sadly mistaken. In fact, if you could be a fly on the wall and see how he really integrates with his family, it would really upset you. It would make you mad. Because you'll be like, this joke up here, this ninja is making it seem like he don't even love his family. He don't even want to be bothered with his family. But I see him just a kiki and he, ha, ha, ha. He up here taking Christmas pictures and posting it on Facebook. Taking a whole family out to dinner. just having a good old time. But when he get around you, he act like he just so damn miserable. He can't stand being a husband and a wife. Child, bye. Please hit that like button. These are the lies that married men will tell to manipulate bird brain women who don't know better, or too desperate to face the reality. Know they lying, but you gonna hang in there anyway and get mad with the wife. The irony. When he says you're my soulmate, that's manipulation dressed up as romance. If you were truly his soulmate, he wouldn't have to keep you in the shadows. They will lie and tell these side chicks we're meant to be together. And he knows in his heart he's full of it. He knows he has no intentions on leaving his wife. He knows that he's not that miserable to leave his wife. He's lying and saying that to make the bench warmer believe I stand a chance, because he's saying I'm his soulmate. Okay? The next lies married men will tell, she doesn't support me like you do. What he really means is you're giving me what I want without accountability. That is what Martell does to Arion. That's what's going on with the crash dummies. I've been telling y'all, Martell to this day manipulates the hell out of Arion. Because again, like I stated, she's slow as a crock pot. She can't read the room. These married men will lie and say, you support me better, you treat me better, you listen to me more. No, in other words, you allow me to slave you. You allow me to pimp you. That's what makes it great. That's what makes you a great woman. Because you will let me run game on you. You wouldn't let me lie to you. You will let me have my way. He will also say this. Another lie married men will tell. Please hit the like buttons if you are just coming in. Because listen, I'm dropping some gems today. I'm letting y'all know why these bench warmers, these residue chicks, these dollar store divas, who are settling for scraps, because when you take on somebody else married man, you taking on scraps. I'm telling you the lies that they are falling for. I'm here only until I can get my finances straight. What it means is I'm not leaving because divorce costs us money and you're the free ticket. Listen, let me tell you women something out here. These married men, once they get used to living a lifestyle, they cannot handle the downgrade. Why you think Kevin Hunter is still to this day trying to fight Wendy Williams' guardianship relentlessly for that money? Listen, these wives have spoiled these married men to live in a certain type of lifestyle. That's why Markdown Martell, Mayhem Martell, is over there causing a catastrophe. Trying to stalking mail, having her rip back and forth, to courts and stuff, just being malicious. Married men who are used to being in marriages where they're financially secure, they catch a really hard time being with a side chick who's broke and cannot supply that lifestyle. I'm going to tell you, 80% of Martell's misery is he does not have the lifestyle he had with Mel. See, he was looking at the fact that Arion Air Mattress, he was able to get her to do all of the things he wanted her to do. But what he can't make her do is have the lifestyle that Melody made him become accustomed to. Martell is used to living in big houses, driving nice up-to-date cars, BMWs, not no Honda Civic, not no Enterprise rental cars. With Air Mattress, he's struggling big time. He would never have that lifestyle that he would have had he stayed with Melody. Had Martell stayed with Melody, he would have been able to enjoy the fruits of her labor because she honored marriage and she would have made sure Martell was straight. Melody is selling products, apparel. Air Mattress ain't doing none of that. That's why some of these married men, they don't leave their wives, because they know the side chick is not going to continue to provide that lifestyle that they get with their wives. Not only that, They don't want no divorce to cost them no money. See, Martell really didn't think about all he had to lose. He just jumped out there on the fence. So if a man tells you, I'm only here till I get my finances straight, that means he's broke. He ain't got no money. Next lies married men will tell. If I met you first, things would be different. He's trying to romanticize the situation, but it's still an excuse to keep you in the role of the other woman. Absolutely. Next lie married men will tell. Don't post us. People wouldn't understand. Any woman who falls for that, if you're a bench warmer, a sneaky link, you're not understanding he's hiding you. He knows if the truth gets out, he risks his marriage, reputation, or money. He says, don't post me, or he chooses locations way out of your local town. You know, y'all going to these other counties and stuff like that. It's because he doesn't plan on leaving his wife for you. That's why he has to hide you. If he had plans on leaving you, he wouldn't care who. If he had plans on leaving his wife, he wouldn't care who knows. He wouldn't care who sees. So anytime you have a married man that's hiding you, understand he's hiding you because he still has no intentions on leaving his marriage. And lastly, give me time. This is complicated. Next thing you notice, it'll be 5-6 years. And there's some bench warmers who ended up losing their mates, losing their married man. Been waiting on him just that long. Been with him 20, 30 years till the man died on him. Who ends up getting everything? The wife. It's harsh reality. That time is endless. He's stringing you along until you either get tired or finds another distraction. Absolutely. It's game. It don't take that much time to decide. If you want to leave this marriage, you're going to leave this marriage. If you got to keep stalling, you're stalling for a reason. So I basically broke down to all of you the different lies and what's the true meaning behind them. It takes you as a woman of maturity, integrity, and respect to be able to read the room and read in between the lines when a man tells you everything, anything that you want to hear. If he keeps telling you you're a good woman, you deserve better, you got to read in between those lines. He's telling you that because he doesn't have the courage to leave you. He's thinking that if he keeps telling you you deserve someone better, you will leave on your own. You got to really read in between the lines. She doesn't do for me what you do for me. Okay, well, I'm doing so much for you, but not enough to where you're willing to leave that situation. You got to read in between the lines. So, appreciate it, y'all. I'm going to get ready to shut it down. Hopefully, there's no technical issues. I'm going to play back the video because I was something, one of my cords was kind of loosening up. So, hopefully, I didn't chop up too bad anywhere in the content, but I'll be able to figure out if I did, and I may have to remove that part. But ladies, what do y'all really think about this situation? What do you think about the lies married men would tell? How far they will go to try to manipulate and have their way? What about the Pekishas that fall for it? Leave your comments down below and I'll definitely be reading it, and I'll let you ladies know exactly what I think. Y'all take care. See y'all next week.